The chairperson of the European Union's Parliamentary Committee on Human Rights, Mari Arena, has urged the European Union countries to talk about human rights in India before establishing broader economic ties with New Delhi in the form of a free trade agreement (FTA). Highlighting the deteriorating rights situation in India during a briefing to a joint meeting of the European Parliament Commission and the European External Action Service, Mari said that European Union must not only demand that India respect its human rights obligations, which must be a precondition for any strengthening of economic relations, but also the release of prisoners of conscience, defenders, as well as the cancellation of freedom-killing laws. She stressed for the need of a local human rights dialogue at the European Union-India Summit in Portugal in May, which is an integral part of last year's Strategic Partnership Agreement. Referring to the inclusion of human rights in FTA's terms, besides the reports of United Nations, Amnesty International, and other organizations on human rights violations in Kashmir, and reiterating their demand for the protection of minorities in India, European Union's human rights chief said that all the questions must be answered before the May summit in Portugal. She also took to the Twitter to highlight the human rights violations in Jammu and Kashmir and India, saying that the freedom-killing laws are passed to limit the work of civil society and to exclude minorities from Indian society. Meanwhile, in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Hurriyat leaders have strongly criticized the Indian Army's statement that it is changing the color of its convoy flags to address feelings of alienation among Kashmiri people. The leaders in their statements have said the Kashmiris would not forget the killing of thousands of sons in fake encounters, torture and enforced disappearance of thousands in custody and molestation of mothers, sisters and daughters by same Indian occupational army. Posters with pictures of Prime Minister of Pakistan Imran Khan and Army Chief General Qamar Bajwa have again appeared in Srinagar and other parts of the valley. The posters, released by Haqq-e-Khud Iradiyat Forum, said Kashmiris are grateful to Pakistan for its continual political, diplomatic and moral support to the Kashmir cause. In Jammu, speakers at a seminar organized by the Forum for Peace and Territorial Integrity of Jammu and Kashmir urged the leadership of Pakistan and India to initiate dialogue for peaceful resolution of all pending issues. Besides others, the function was addressed by the Forum President I.D. Khajuria. National Conference President Farooq Abdullah and Vice President Umar Abdullah paid glowing tributes to the Pakistan's national poet Allama Muhammad Iqbal on his death anniversary. Farooq Abdullah said Iqbal craved for socio-political and economic emancipation of Kashmiris. Paris-based media watchdog Reporters Without Borders, in its 2021 World Press Freedom Index, maintained that India still remains as a country that is bad for journalism, and it ranks 142nd out of 180 countries, the same position it held last year. The RSF report said journalists in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir still cope with utterly Orwellian content regulations.